It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. What does that even mean? It's not your fault that you grew up without any decent role models of how to have a functional relationship. It's not your fault necessarily that you grew up with no role models on how to invest and create wealth. It's not your fault that you're on the receiving end of negative self talk and that you're not good enough. But it is your responsibility. And the sooner that you wake up and realize that, the better your life will be. My name's Lavender and this is my beautiful wife.
Anna Ditchburn.
And in this video, we're going to talk about a couple of things that you may not have ever come across, or if you come across, maybe hadn't heard them from this perspective. Because once you become aware of what we want to talk about today, life just gets easier. And it's not about taking on more burden. It's not about adding more work to our life. It's about understanding that once you actually get a pathway from people that are already doing the thing that you want, life becomes a lot easier. It's like being taught how to swing a golf club from someone that's played baseball their entire life. They might have a good theory and they might be able to whack the odd ball here and there, but until you get Tiger Woods, and maybe he's not the best example when it comes to creating a purpose partner, until you get someone like Tiger Woods or John Daly or someone teaching you how to swing a club and keep your eye on a certain dot on the ball, like you're just going to struggle to, the ball into the water. You're going to lose balls. It's going to be expensive in time and money and emotional bandwidth and energy. So, what does this actually mean? Well, for me, I grew up as a child of divorce. And I had so much divorce around me that every single person on both sides of my family has been married and divorced at least twice. In fact, my dear mum, who I love, is going through her third divorce at 73. And that sucks. That's unnecessary. And you only get so many of those before you run out of time. And if you're here sitting here going, I'm ready to do the work to go to find and create and have a life where I get to wake up next to someone who I actually want to spend time with, that I adore and that adores me, and that empowers me with their feminine energy if they're a woman, or empowers me with their masculine or leads in their masculine frame, this video might be for you. We created this group because we can see a massive need and a lot of hurt people in the world, like we were, that don't have a pathway on how to do this stuff. And what you need to understand is that your subconscious part of your brain, which drives 95% of every single daily action, its sole purpose is to keep you alive. Now, I'm going to hand over to Anna in a second, because as a therapist, this is exactly what she has studied, and maybe you can articulate this in a slightly more less dramatic way than me.
Thanks, baby. So, if you are watching this video and you are just asking yourself, when am I gonna meet this person? Why he or she is still not showing up? What am I doing wrong? I want you to stop doing this for a second. As Laban said, our subconscious is such a powerful tool to actually create your purpose partner and then pull in to your life. That if you don't know how to use it, it can actually go against you. And so, what Laban you were talking about, when the reason we are still single is not because you are not ready or you're not healed enough or there is something wrong with you, you're too old, too broken, too beautiful,
Too fat, too skinny.
too much, or whatever. It's because your subconscious is actually protecting you from unknown. And let me give you an example. If you've grown up in a family where you were abandoned, where you had to work really hard to get love, to get affection, to get attention, your subconscious learns this pattern that the love is not safe and I have to work really hard to be loved. But the thing is, what really so many people are missing, even if this is a wrong pattern and not really pleasant pattern, for your subconscious, it's a familiar pattern. And familiar means safe. And safe means I will attract more situations like this, so I feel safe myself, because the biggest fear for our subconscious is a fear of unknown. It's even bigger than the fear of death. Whoa, exactly. So your subconscious literally equals love to struggle. And the biggest role of our subconscious is to protect you from struggle. So it does everything in its power to reflect, to self sabotage yourself, to avoid this love and affection and the relationship that you really want. But the good news is you can retrain your subconscious to believe that love is safe and love is beautiful, and that's what you want to create more in your life. And that's what we are trying to show people here in this community, that you have all the power, all the control in your hands to create these things. So, Laban, when you were growing up, seeing that your mom was divorcing, uh, seeing what kind of relationship she had, what do you think your subconscious learned from it?
That it was normal, that was just people's lot because there was so many. It was like the herd mentality. It was like, okay, this is just what life is going to be like, and I from a very young age, I always knew that I was destined for great things with whatever that looks like for you. And there was parts of me that like I could do this better when I got a bit older. But I didn't have any reference point on what that actually looked like. It's like growing up in poverty. It's like, you want to be rich. And sometimes that's enough of a motivator for people to go and, become unbelievably successful. And often they do that to the detriment of the other parts of their life as well. They get all the money, all the success, and then end up going through 3 divorces and need to give away 50% of every time, which is brutal. Listen, wouldn't it be great to have all three of those things? What I love to call the triple threats, like health, wealth, and relationships. Imagine if you could have all three, right? Well, they exist. It's just becoming aware of what needs to happen in all of those areas in order for that to come into fruition. And the irony is that selecting a purpose partner, a spouse, a husband or a wife, the right one, will make the health and the wealth infinitely easier. And I'll give you an example of if the people that are thinking it's too late or what. I went for a run this morning and I was chatting to a guy in one of those sit down bikes, and I could see from his hand. And brother, if you're watching, because I was telling you about the group, shout out to you. I won't mention any names, but I could tell that he'd gone through something, and it was a tetraplegic, and he was in his 60s. And I said to him, did you ever get married? Yeah, he got married and had 3 kids. Now he was going through, they weren't together anymore, but that was for a number of reasons. But like a tetraplegic is able to like marry and have children. Like, what's your excuse? And this guy had, come out the other side of a marriage and was now like open to the idea of being able to create his purpose partner for life. And what a great, inspiring role model that guy was. Because if that's what he's able to achieve, imagine what you're doing if you're able-bodied. You know, even if you're carrying a few extra pounds or think you're unattractive or whatever. All of these things are irrelevant in this context of what we're talking about.
You also developed the fear of marriage, gamophobia. Gamophobia?
Gamophobia is the fear of marriage, which is what I held up until I met my wife.
So no wonder you've been literally single until 38 years old, because if you look back, have you been avoiding this closeness? You were given so many opportunities to marry a beautiful girl, but you didn't. Do you remember the beautiful girl you were dating?
My longest relationship was 12 months, and in reality, they probably should have ended after 3 months, maybe even earlier, because I didn't realize it at the time that my subconscious was protecting me in a good way in many respects by going, this isn't the right person for you. And with the benefit of hindsight and retrospect, I go, I get it now. It was protecting me. But then there was the self-sabotage component that was also protecting me as well. And it was only through going through the process of learning about what codependent behaviors were, what micro contracts, and being out of integrity with honesty and thinking like I had to pretend parts of my life did not exist in order for that person to love me. And Anna knows me more intimately than I think I know myself. And in fact, we have uh, like I've set Anna up. We both have with face recognition. She's got access to like I don't. There's a great quote. It's like if you always tell the truth, you never have to remember anything. And for years, my memory was sucked, and there was a few other reasons for that. Now it's really good, but I was like, I don't have to. I don't want to be out if Anna doesn't love me for my past. Then so be it. Let's figure that out early. Let's get onto it, not sit on it. And one of the guys that I coached and Anna worked with a little bit as well a long time ago was a very conservative religious guy who got a lactance when he was 18 on about a year before he got married. And he kept this horrible secret to himself for years and only told her in the last 5 years. And it nearly ended their marriage. It was that kind of thing in the Christian or the Mormon community was a real no-no. And he was so ashamed of it. It was just like, what? The amount of energetic bandwidth that he wasted, worrying about that whole thing. It just, that could have been redirected into health and business and relationships. Did I answer the question?
Yes. More than.
But just quickly, the point of me sharing this stuff is that you don't need to go through the pain and the suffering and the time that it took me to figure this out. That's exactly the point of being mentored or coached by someone that has already gone through it. You want to shortcut in many respects that process because some of us don't have long left. Let's be honest. I hope that's going to change and that can change, but like take action with this now. Like, don't like, man, 38, and I was beginning to think that I was never going to meet that person. And then when I did meet my Anna, she was the woman that I knew that I wanted to meet my entire life that was beginning to think that I've worked. And what a gift that has been to me in my life. But I worked for it. I did the work.
And by work, we are not saying that you have to feel that you have to do a lot of manifestations, you have to do more journaling, more creating more vision boards. All you need to do is to shift your energy. Like when people ask me, how do I just shift my energy? Well, we describe this step by step and this challenge because it's just impossible to say to share this information in 3 days. So we would love to see you there if you really would like this support and speed up this process. But the reason I was asking Laban this question is because I want to show you another example that will help you to understand how your subconscious works. We have a beautiful client, and she's probably watching this video. 55 years old, successful in all areas of her life. She figured out everything for herself, except one important thing: love. She's been in a loveless relationship. She attracted all wrong people, and she could not understand why. And honestly, I can feel her suffering, her disappointment. I could feel because that was me. I was in a relationship, but it was not the one I wanted. So anyway, when we did work with her, when we shifted her energy, she attracted the man she's been dreaming of and the man who ticked every single box in her list, who literally lives 2 streets away from her in the same area. And she said,
In a big city, too.
in a big
5 minutes.
in a big city, exactly. And he's been living there for I think like 2 years or so. She has never met him before. And when she wrote the list of her ideal partner, when she started changing her energy, she met him like within days, literally. And she said, Anna, I've never seen this person before. And after I met him, we were bumping into each other in the shops, in the cafes, in the restaurants, everywhere. So as soon as she did this small shift, her subconscious, which work is to pull out all the tools available from the universe to bring you into the right place at the right time with the right person. So she attracted this man as soon as she opened up for this kind of relationship. As soon as she changed her energy, her subconscious went like, okay, I have a vector now where to go, what to do. But there are some things that we work with her on. So it's not just like, okay, I'm ready, bring it on. No, in this challenge, I wanna actually talk about what the biggest mistakes people are making when they write a list of their ideal partner. And there are some nuances. How to shift your energy to really start attracting not just a partner, but the right partner. And not just having a relationship, but having a purposeful relationship. Because the goal is not just to come together, the goal is to build something meaningful and long lasting.
Hmm. Okay, so we've been going for 16 minutes. Thank you for your time and listening. We want to make something available to you. Our challenge starts in 5 days. For those that are interested, for the first 5 people that join the VIP section, for the first 5 only, because we don't have a lot of time, a lot of bandwidth for this, we are gifting a 30-minute private session virtually. 30 minutes, which the value on that is ridiculous. So if this resonates with you, if you got to the end of the video and you want a little bit of a leg up, there's all the information that's in the community. When we'll continue to put this, will be enough if you can bring it all together. Some people want their hand held a little bit more, and then some people need a little bit more hand holding as well. And we totally get with whatever your requirements are. But for the first 5 people, we'll get notifications as well, and we'll reach out and contact you if you were successful. And so I wanted to make that available. We can talk about whatever, but more than likely it might be a good opportunity to sit and listen, head one question, and then just listen. Make use of the time.
Yeah, it's going to be very deep and very customized, especially for you.
You have a great day if you're not having one, and if you are, keep up the great work with you.